Hello again, welcome back to Illegally Sighted. This is BGFH, and I'm back here for another low vision spotlight video. And the game I want to show you guys today is called Brothers: The Tale of Two Sons. This is a game that came out on Xbox Live Arcade actually earlier this summer, and I believe it was one of the Xbox Live Arcade, or Summer of Arcade, games that came out this August. And later on this fall, it came out on the PC through Steam, and that's the version that I have here. And so I'm playing the Steam version with a 360 controller. And really, I can't remember if the game actually requires it, but if it doesn't, I could not imagine playing this game with a keyboard and mouse. If it is possible, I really don't know how it would be done. I think it would be really hard. And you'll see why in just a minute. So, let's get right into it here. We've got our main menu. We've got a few different options. We can play, help and options, exit, and achievements. So, typical things that you would find on like a Xbox Live Arcade game or indie game, something like that. So let's go to play, and I'm going to go to chapter select. Now I have gotten all the way through this, but for some reason I think I overwrote my my save file. So yeah, shoot, I don't have. So I don't know what I did, but I somehow overwrote. I think when I went back to a different chapter and I wanted to try something again, I must have messed up and screwed that up. But I don't want to show you. I really don't want to. I'm not sure how much I really want to show you of the game, because a large part of this, the cool factor, is just exploring and experiencing the game on your own. I'm going to skip the very, very beginning and jump into chapter 2 here. So, what is Brothers? Brothers, The Tale of Two Sons. What it is when the game starts, you find out that your father is sick and he needs some medicine or something, and these brothers here, they set off to get a cure for him and help him out so he doesn't die. And you end up going on this crazy adventure, and yeah, I mean, I'll leave it at that. I mean, the ending I'll talk about a little bit later, but I won't. Again, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but really cool ending. So, what makes this game really unique and kind of tricky is that I have independent control over each brother. So this is why I really think that it is absolutely necessary to have a dual analog stick controller. This is really the only way to play this game. So it looks really easy if you're watching someone else play, but when you're not playing, or when you are playing and you're trying to do some of the things that the game asks you to do, it gets pretty tricky. Basically, throughout the whole game, you have your two analog sticks, your two triggers, and then your two bumpers, which will sometimes control the camera and other times will not. So let's get into it here, and I'll show you a little bit of what I mean. The first thing that I really had to overcome, and anyone will have to overcome, is controlling both brothers independently at the same time. So here's an example of, I'm going to go steal this kid's ball. Hey buddy, how you doing? Okay, I'm going to get over here. Hopefully I can do this. Oh, you're going to... Come on, throw your ball, or I'm going to steal it from you. Ah. Come here, I'm going to take your ball. Okay, so, see you, kid. We're going to run off and steal your ball. I want to do this somewhere where the other guy won't interfere. So, kind of a neat little thing here. You can actually play catch. Let's see if I can get this to work. I was doing it the other day. So I hold as long as I'm holding the trigger, the character holds it, and then when I let go, he throws it, and then I have to use the other trigger for the other brother to grab it. And just to be an ass, let's see. I stole his ball. Okay. I can't throw it off of the ledge. I was going to throw it in the water. Poor kid. Just wanted to see if I could. So, right now we're pretty early on in the game. Basically, so far we've left our little... we've left our home, traveled a little bit through the wilderness, and we're going to continue on. So, we need to I need to use both brothers to open this gate. And we're going to continue on here, following through the path. But what I was saying before I started playing ball was that the hardest thing that everyone is going to have trouble with at first is simply controlling both brothers at the same time. And it's not always as simple as we're just going to walk and we're going to, do a couple simple things together. Later on, it gets to the point where one brother has to be, let's say, holding a switch or holding something in place while the other person needs to, like, do some platforming on his own or do some other thing. So basically, not only are you could be holding a trigger and then doing like there was one puzzle where I had to do, like, you held the right trigger with one, or for your one brother, and did a motion to turn this crank repeatedly, and then you also had to control the other brother independently. And it gets, like I said, it looks really easy, but it's kind of tricky. The other thing that can be a little tough is that, like I said, each analog stick maps to one brother. So the left analog stick is always going to control Big Brother here on the left. My little brother is completely controlled on the right analog stick. And then each one, so my left, my bigger brother, his action button is the left trigger, and then my little brother, he is on the right trigger. So that's fine until you start doing things where, they're on the opposite side. So you got Big Brother on the right hand side and little brother on the left, and you're trying to remember, okay, we're over this massive crevasse, or I'm trying to do something life-threatening, and we're trying to stay alive. And if I hit the wrong button, or if I do the wrong thing, they're toast. And yes, you can die in this game. I died actually several times by accident. So just getting a hang of the controls is kind of interesting. Okay, so here is an example of one of your first encounters. Speaking of the fact that you can completely perish. Oh yeah, see, I jumped down by accident, and poor little brother just got mauled. So when I originally played this, I took Big Brother here on the left, and I thought, okay, well, usually you can hold the trigger right when you get to the edge and you can jump. So I thought, okay, I'm going to jump over there. Yeah, that didn't work. Dog kind of mauled me to death. So we're going to use both of our action buttons here. Get them both in place. Okay, distract him. You climb up there. Very good. Okay, screw you, dog. There we go. There's one mean dog. Okay. So, you know what, we're gonna climb up here. Come on, doggy. Go over there, dummy. So oh crap. An early example of teamwork. Okay. Hi, doggy. Okay. We're gonna keep on going. Jump up there. Go bug him. Come on. You know you wanna. There you go. Now, right here is kind of a good example. It's not too bad here, but you notice how far the camera is out. Look at the younger brother on the right. You get zoomed out pretty far, and I can definitely see, and especially there's some areas later in the game where if you do have low vision or a vision impairment, you may have trouble in some of these areas. I know that I kind of did, just because the graphic fidelity is really good, and so little switches or little items sometimes might blend in and you might not know exactly what you're supposed to do. But the camera can pose a problem on occasion. So what'll happen is there'll be some times where the camera, just the angle alone, will mess you up a little bit, because either there'll be some trees blocking the way, or there was one time where there was like a pillar that was blocking, and I got around it, but you had to go a little bit slow, and it was a little bit tricky to do. So that, you know, there can be things that not only the camera angle can be a little bit difficult, or the zoom distance can be a little difficult, but sometimes things can actually obscure your view as well. And remember, sometimes it's been good so far, but in some areas I really can't seem to move the camera too well because of the perspective the game actually wants you to have. So maybe your brothers have to be separated. You know, they can never get too far apart. But on the other hand, there are some areas where they do get considerable distance. So A, you're zoomed out. B, they got a fixed camera angle that can be that you really can't do much with. And you know, like I said, with the graphic fidelity, you might overlook something on occasion. So there are times where it can be a little difficult. I will warn you of that. And the other interesting thing with this is that, so right now we're fine because we can just walk through this shallow water. But little brother can't swim, so he freaks out a little bit, and he will jump on. You have to use your action button for him to jump on Big Brother's back. And then Big Brother will help him swim through not too many sections of swimming in the game, probably half a dozen, give or take. Something like that. Okay, what do we got over to the left here? Do we have one of those benches? I forget. What do we got? Would you... Alright, whatever. And thankfully, they do have some areas where they will not let you fall off. Some areas, like I said, you can kill yourself in the middle of a puzzle or specific sections. However, like here, I can just jump across when I use the trigger. But there are some ledges, and especially when you're trying to remember which person you're controlling at a time, I'm glad that they don't let you fall in certain places, because there have been many times I would have accidentally plunged to my death because I was looking at or controlling the wrong person by accident. Okay, so here we got another little interaction here. I'm trying to get to one little puzzle that I thought was kind of amusing. I think it's coming up here pretty soon. But Okay, I'll climb up there. And here's a little thing. And they have twists on this. All these little mechanics that you learn early on, they have little twists on them. You know, so you think you get comfortable with, oh, that's how this puzzle works. They will switch them up on you. But, so, okay, here we go. So now, okay, here's sheep. So I think I'm close to the puzzle that I was thinking of. Oh god, come on. Okay, you jump up there. There we go. Okay. So the way you had to do that is you have to hold the triggers, and you'll hold on to whatever ledge you're grabbing, and then you have to push in the direction and then let go, and then hurry up and hit the trigger again to grab the next ledge. So again, when you're doing them both at the same time and you're both going different ways, there'll be times where one brother's going one direction, the other brother's going the other direction. It can get a little crazy. So basically, I mean, this is like a unique thing because it's a single player co-op game is what I would call it. And the developers, they designed it that way. They wanted it to, yes, this is the area that I remember. Okay. But yeah, it's a single player co-op game. So, you know, right away you're probably thinking, why wouldn't you just control one character or one brother with, you know, one player and then the other player control the other brother? That's really not what the designers, I guess, were going for. You know, they were thinking that, well, the gameplay is, you know, deceptively simple, but it's all about like the puzzles and the character interaction. Oh, I think right after this too, there's another funny thing. Maybe we'll see how much longer I can go here, but I don't want to spoil too much, but we're pretty early on, so we're not doing too bad. So what we're going to do is I already know that I'm going to need Big Brother to go into that pen. Take Little Brother into this little spinny wheel here. Now this puzzle was really funny. It threw me off for a while. I can pick up Beastie here. And originally, see, if I were to quit running, the bridge would go back up. And otherwise, okay, then I'm like, okay, how do I get both brothers across? So I thought, okay, let's put all the animals on the bridge, and maybe it'll weigh it down enough where it won't matter. No, that didn't work. The critters were still just, they were dumb, and they would try to wander off, and B, even if I did get them all on there, they wouldn't work. So, funnily enough, and I just did this on a whim, and I did not expect it to work. So I'm going to get rid of there, and I'm going to put run, critter, run. I really did not expect that to work. I just did it out of a kind of a sign of, or a little thing of desperation, but there's a little puzzle solved for you. Hop up here. I think we're coming up to the point where there's another bridge. Or if I don't remember, maybe I already passed that. Let's go a little longer. Probably not going to play much longer because this gives you an idea. I've shown you a couple of co-op things where you're like, you know, we're distracting, or one person's, you know, the older brother boosts someone up over a ledge, and, you know, all kinds of stuff. So I might be past the area I was thinking of. I think I am, because I think I'm going to find Biggin up here. Let's see. How do I get up there again? Oh, yeah, okay. Got to shimmy across. Wow, look at that view. That's another thing that I will definitely say about this game, is that the graphics and sound and overall presentation is very, very well done. Graphics look really good. Yes, okay. So, but the whole presentation is done very well. And while we're on the topic of presentation, the other thing that I thought was really unique about the game, you've heard a couple little little gibberish phrases from the brothers so far. And the entire story is done via music during right here. So you heard him talk there. That was a little brother. But you hear... I'll let him talk here. Right. So what happens is that all the dialogue is kind of this gibberish, but it's all just based on like emotion and like what it sounds like. You can kind of tell by their gestures and by their inflection of their voice kind of what is basically going on. I mean, it's really easy to tell that, oh, okay, your father is sick. Okay, you got another person trying to help him out. Okay, then you're going to go on this quest and go get him some medicine. And you, throughout the game, do encounter other NPCs, and this is one of them. Early on, there are some villagers. There are these... I don't know what you would call these, like ogres or something. Big beasts, whatever they are. But, okay. Yeah, so I can't get in there. Let me in! No, neither one will let you in, so... But yeah, there are some NPCs, and it's a pretty cool way they actually tell the story. Like, you really don't have to have any language or anything. It's just, it's done really well. Let's see, where am I supposed... Okay, see, this is where I'm getting my analog sticks all turned around again. Let's see. Can I do anything here? No. Let's see. I know I need to go... Let's go down the... here we go, I bet. Go down to the... what are you doing? Oh, Jeebus. Okay. Grabs him, chucks him over. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Whee! Okay, here's one of those benches I was talking about earlier. So, all throughout the game, you get these little benches that you can sit down on. And originally, I thought they were save points, but they're really not. Instead, it's just a cool way to, as you're going through all these environments, just getting a chance to see the really cool artwork in the game. A lot of times you get these huge vistas that you can just kind of take a look at. As long as you hold down the trigger and somebody sits down on it, you will get to check that out. So, like I said, the presentation is really well done. Like I said, occasionally it does get in the way of, it can be a little hard to see. Let's see. How do I get up there? I thought I could... Okay, let's switch. This is confusing me. Okay. Show you a couple other little... come on. Pick me up. Are you gonna pick me up, buddy? Or what? There you go. So as I'm going through this area, this guy helps me out a lot. You know, he chucks you over places, he'll lift you up so you can grab different places. There's a little area coming up here where he actually makes a bridge for us that we can walk across. So really inventive, you know, with two analog sticks and essentially 2 buttons. They pack a lot of gameplay and gameplay variation into the game. What you doing there, big guy? Yep, okay. So we got a bridge. Hey, buddy. Thank you, kind sir, for letting us walk on you. There we go. And like I said, I think I will wrap it up here pretty quick. I think I'll just try to get through a little bit more of this this section here. But okay, where are you going? Okay. Climb up there. So, judging, you know, you should be able to get a really good idea of what this game is like. Like I said, the story is really kind of, it's a minimalist story, but you can really just tell what's going on. And without spoiling anything, I will say the ending is really good and not what I expected at all. I'm not going to say anything else because I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but it's well worth playing through to the end because, wow, yeah, the ending is pretty interesting and not at all what I would have expected. I know a lot of places, I've heard a few people talking about it as one of their almost games of the year so far, and I can kind of see that. There's been actually a lot of good games this year. And I don't know if I would call this my game of the year so far, but I can definitely understand why somebody would. So let's go a little more. Wait, where's my little... Where the hell is my... Oh, there he is. Get up here, bro. See, there is a, you know, when he was really far on the bottom there, you know, it's like a little tricky to see him. I want to get to one little part here. I know exactly where I'm going to end it. Okay, let's go back this way a little bit. Oh, shit! No, not like that. Oops. Okay, no, that is not what I intended to do at all. Let's try that one more time. Okay. Let's do this one more time without failing. Yeah, look at how small he is now. There are definitely other times in the game where you do have to deal with such a zoomed out camera, and that is one, despite how much I really do enjoy this game, that is one thing I'm not particularly fond of. Come up here, little bro. There we go. That's what we're supposed to do. Not accidentally let go and plunge to your bloody death. Okay, you hop up there. You hop up there. And remember, the whole time I'm doing these, I have to hold down these triggers, because if I don't, I do, then what happens is what I just did a minute ago. I plunge to my bloody death. Get up there, brother. There you go. Good job, buddy. Okay, yep, I think we're coming up to it right here. So here's where we're going to end the video. We're cruising. We made it. We made it. Yeah. Cutscene. Should be coming up here pretty soon. Oops. Getting those buttons messed up again. Hey, buddy, what you gonna do to us now? Wait, what? What? Whoa! Nice. Alright, so yeah, now we've left our kind of homeland, and now we're in this big old cavern cave system, and this is where the game starts getting a little bit more complicated in its controls. Like I said, so far it's been, yeah, you've been doing things at the same time, or you could kind of, you know, do one brother or the other. But now you start getting into where you have to do a little bit more intricate control stuff. So here's an example of how I'm swimming around with the one brother, and as long as I'm holding on to my other bigger brother, I'm fine. So here we got this wonderful camera. And, okay, I think this is where we started. Anywho, I really don't want to give away anything else. Like I said, pay attention to the camera angles that, you know, in some of the areas that I was talking about throughout this video. And if you think you can get through some of that, you know, definitely give it a shot, because I think it's well worth playing, well worth experiencing. I want to say the game is maybe, I don't know, 3-4 hours long, so it's not an epically long game. But yeah, like I said, it is worth playing, and really cool. Like I said, I'm trying to cover more of these games that are doing something other than the typical, yeah, I do a lot of first-person shooters, and I do some traditional games and stuff like that too, but I'm trying to branch out more and do some of these indie games or some of these smaller games that, you know, like I said, try to do something a little bit different, either whether it's story-based or control-based or game mechanics or whatever it happens to be, maybe art style or a combination of all those things. Just really becoming more interested in that kind of stuff. I'll never get tired of first-person shooters. That's been kind of my classic bread and butter for a while, but I do definitely appreciate a lot of this new stuff that's coming out. So that has been Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. It is available on Xbox Live Arcade right now, and it is also available on PC through Steam and possibly Good Old Games, but don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure, but I know for sure it's available on Steam. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, I will talk to you guys again later.